She saw Pauline and came over to the table. I panicked. She knew it was me. What was I going to say to her? She stood at the side of our table and said, "Pauline, what a pleasant surprise. Would you mind terribly if I sat at your table?" All the others seemed to be filled. Pauline put down her burger and said, "Why, of course. Have a seat. There's plenty of room." Gina sat down opposite Pauline and laid down her food. She looked at me, cocked her head and smiled sweetly. She knows who I am. Oh sweet Lord, help me, I thought in an utter panic. I peed my pants in a rush. I held the bottle in front of my face and sipped on the nipple slowly, hoping that it would disguise my appearance enough to keep Gina from recognizing me. Gina said to Pauline in a conversational tone, "He has the prettiest blue eyes. Is he yours? I didn't know you had a baby." Pauline swallowed her bite and replied, "Oh, he's not mine, he's my sister's. I just taking care of him until she gets out of the hospital. She should be home in the next week or two." Gina looked politely concerned and said, "I hope it's nothing serious. It's a shame that such a cute baby can't be with his mother." Pauline agreed and they went on with their meal. I was desperate. After eating the meal, I suddenly discovered I had an intense need to use the toilet. My gut ached as the contractions rolled across my abdomen. I knew my bowels would move soon, whether I wanted them to or not. I wanted to ask Pauline to take me to the bathroom, but Gina's presence effectively precluded that option. The minute Pauline lifted me from the high chair, my wet training pants would be obvious to everyone. I groaned inwardly in an agony of fear and physical discomfort. The last thing I wanted was to attract attention. If Gina discovered who I was, she'd make a scene and Pauline would discover our illicit love affair. I couldn't afford to have that happen to me while I was still in a toddler's body. I had planned to leave Pauline in 3 weeks, but this incident had upset my timetable. I still hadn't converted the stocks and bonds, although I had managed to buy the tickets for the plane to Buenos Aires. If she found out, my finances would be tied up for years in court. Pauline and Gina were chatting amicably when the inevitable happened. I started to mess in my pants. I tried to look innocent, but the smell betrayed me. I stuck the nipple deep into my mouth and sucked industriously, trying to look like the toddler I had become. Gina and Pauline swiveled their heads toward me simultaneously and smiled in that curiously condescending way women have with babies. Gina said, "I think your nephew smells a little poopy, Pauline." Pauline smiled back at her and said, "He's just going to have to sit in dirty training pants until we get home. I don't have any pants with me to change him into." Gina nodded and commiserated, "Isn't it always the way? I think babies must sense when you're down to your last diaper and make a special effort. From the way they act, sometimes I think they enjoy sitting in poop. Oh dear, look at the time. I've got to run. Tell your husband, what's his name, hi for me. Maybe you should stop at the grocery store and pick up some diapers on the way home. You can potty train him when he's at home and put him in diapers when the two of you go shopping. Surely your sister won't object to that. Bye." Pauline watched Gina leave and leaned over to me and whispered, "So, you couldn't hold it until we got back to the house? Why didn't you ask to be taken to the bathroom? I think I'll do what Gina suggests and get you some diapers." Pauline finished her meal and threw out the trash, then found a newspaper vending machine and bought a newspaper. She took him out of the high chair and took him to the car. Before she sat me down on the car seat, however, she spread the newspaper down for me to sit on. "There you go, honey," she said as she buckled his seatbelt. "I didn't want you making the upholstery wet. The newspaper will take care of any leaks you have."